everyone. Welcome back to 876 United Facts TV. This is a late night show, and today we'll be just discussing some latest transfer news. So, firstly, I just want to speak about our own player, the French central defensive midfielder slash box to box midfielder. His name is Paul Pogba. Firstly, we need to speak about his situation before we get into any other transfer updates regarding Sancho, regarding Varane, and we even have news in as well for Paul Torres or Pa Torres, whichever way you want to pronounce the name. So firstly, let's speak about Paul Pogba. So without further ado, guys, Paul Pogba, as of today, was approached by Manchester United. Rather, Manchester United contacted his agent, that is Mino Raiola, and they were offering the player a weekly wage, of £500,000 per week. So Pogba will now earn 2 million euros a month. So, therefore, Paul Pogba has been offered a lump sum of money in order to stay at the club, in order to encourage the player to trust whatever business model the Glazers have decided to begin and starting to, change. Because as you may know, Pogba has been linked to a move back to Juventus, a move to Paris Saint-Germain, and even a move to the likes of Spanish giants like Real Madrid and also Barcelona. But as it stands, Paul Pogba has been given £500,000 to stay at Manchester United. Now, the big question is, ladies and gentlemen, do you think Pogba deserves that much money? Because in truth and in fact, Pogba is a very tremendous player and he's consistent when he plays for France. But when Pogba decides to play for Manchester United, he's a subset of the player he is for his country. So, Manchester United fans worldwide and those who are tuning in, and even those who are non-Manchester United fans who also watch the channel, do you think that Paul Pogba deserves £500,000 a week? And therefore, this will mean that he will be the highest paid player in the Premier League. So tell me what you think, guys. Leave a comment below. Tell me, do you think Paul Pogba deserves that increase in his wages? Now, let us move on to some other transfer news. Now, I just want to address Jadon Sancho. There's not much that, has been there, or there's not much update regarding the Jadon Sancho deal. It still is what I said in the previous video, that personal terms have been agreed. Manchester United and Dortmund have been in negotiations, and that still is the case. Now, there has been rumors and there has been news circulating that Jadon Sancho is going to sign for Manchester United. But the question to answer is, when will that be? As you may know, Manchester United may take a very, very long time to complete important signings, or even signings on a whole. Donny van de Beek signing was an exception. But if you look at the Harry Maguires, the Bruno Fernandezes, and even Aaron Wan-Bissaka, these negotiations took weeks to have been completed. So this is nothing new as it relates to Manchester United, but I am still optimistic. But I'm not saying that it's a done deal, and I'm not saying it will happen, because I have said in the past that I won't say the player is a United player until he holds the jersey. But as it stands, it seems as though Sancho is a priority signing, and as usual, our board is taking their usual long time to draw out the deals and so forth. So, I spoke about Rafael Varane and of course Paul Torres. But let me address the Rafael Varane news first. Now, as I said in previous videos, he will not renew, or he's not going to renew his contract, because there have been countless approach from Real Madrid to Rafael Varane that, listen, we want you to renew the contract, but other teams have been offering the player more money. In my opinion, I believe that after the Euros, I believe Rafael Varane will either decide to stay at Real Madrid and decide his future either next year, or he will either make a move to England to Manchester United, or he will also make a move to PSG again. So you see, PSG is linked with another player that Manchester United wants. Now, the other player that I'm speaking about is Sergio Ramos, which I didn't mention before, but I am going to touch on him after I speak about Varane and Paul Torres. So yes, as it stands, Manchester United has offered Rafael Varane another lump sum of money, £12 million. So he's also offered more money than what Real Madrid has offered Rafael. And as it relates to the money that PSG will offer Varane, that has not yet been publicized, and nothing yet has been said as to what PSG will offer the player. The only thing that we know, and that the Athletic, Christian Folk, and those renowned journalists have said, that PSG have shown a definitive interest in the player, and that PSG may be a destination for Rafael Varane, as he may also want to return to his homeland and play and be around family and what have you. But the latest news is that Rafael Varane has been offered 12 million euros a year, which is 2 million less than what Real Madrid had offered him. So he's also considering whether or not he should move to England and to receive that money that Manchester United is offering. So let us see what will materialize in the coming weeks, and what will Varane do, whether he will go to PSG, come to United, or he will remain for the remainder of his contract with Real Madrid. Now, as it regards to Paul Torres, his name is spelled P-A-U. There's no L, but forgive me for pronouncing it incorrectly. So, Paul Torres, the news has said that Manchester United has been offered the player by Villarreal. They are open to selling the player, and the price tag is between 50 million euros and 70 million euros. So it's approximately 40 million pounds, and it's between 40 million pounds and 60 million pounds. So it's a reasonable price for the player as well. Now, this Paul Torres situation is all dependent on whether or not Manchester United can sign a Rafael Varane. So what I'm saying here, guys, based on the Athletic, based on the Manchester Evening News as well, Manchester United is looking at Paul Torres as a second option in case that Varane decides not to come to United. And also, if Varane comes to United instead of Torres, Torres will seek a move to the Catalan giants in Real Madrid. So that's pretty much what the centre backs that were linked with. This is this is what the scenario is like. This is what the transfer updates are like. So, you know, Paul Torres coming to United is all dependent on whether or not Varane decides to come or to go wherever or to stay. So for those who would want Paul Torres to be a Manchester player, it's all dependent on whether or not Varane comes to United or not. So, as I said, Paul Torres was offered to United. That was weeks ago, and the news has been resurfaced and to be reinforced by the public that the player is open to be sold by his parent club, and Manchester United are very much so interested in the player, and it's all dependent on whether or not he goes. Varane leaves Real Madrid to Manchester United as to whether or not we receive Torres. Now, just to touch upon Mr. Sergio Ramos. Now, as you guys may be aware, he's out of contract with Real Madrid. So that for me is a sticky situation now as it regards to Manchester United getting a Sergio Ramos. Now, in all honesty, I believe that Ramos is this is just my opinion. I believe that Ramos may seek a move to a PSG, I think he will want to go somewhere where instantly he can win trophies, win titles, and what have you. So probably we can even talk about Chelsea. Chelsea might even snub a move for the player and so forth. But there's no definitive news as yet as to whether or not Sergio Ramos will go anywhere. We're not sure as to whether he'll go PSG, whether he'll come to the Premier League, or if he decides to go to the MLS or go to China. We don't know what's the situation regarding Ramos. All that we know is that he's out of contract and that several clubs are interested in signing the Spanish defender. Now, that for me, why it's a sticky situation, because I believe that if Manchester United signs Ramos, it is a good thing and a bad thing. A good thing in the sense that we've got a world-class defender, a leader, and a winner. A person who has won it all, and also a person who is experienced in winning. So, we have an experienced person, a winner, and a leader. But the setbacks is his age, and possibly we don't know if he's regressing, because over the most recent years he has gotten several injuries. I know I have said the same thing when we've gotten Cavani, but Cavani has turned out to be a good signing, but it's a similar sort of signing. He's a player that is at the latter stages of his career. Yes, he's still one of the best in the world, but we still have to think about the future and think about, Manchester United at this point in time should decide to invest in the youth players, in the youth talents, and players who are young enough to carry Manchester United for years to come. So signing a Ramos is just a short-term solution. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a short-term solution, and there's no guarantee that he will stay fit. So which is a guarantee for any player, but my thing is he's more prone to injuries and more prone to bad things happening because of his age. So everything is at the worst side for Ramos than the better side. So basically what I'm saying, I'm not taking away his talent, his experience, and what he can do, because I know that he can do a very good job and to, groom Harry Maguire in this, strong colossal defender. But there's a lot of risk in purchasing a player or signing a player in Sergio Ramos. So I would be more comfortable if we sign a Rafael Varane who is world class and is experienced and is young enough. I think Varane has about 6+ years left to be a solid defender. He's 28 years old and he's the right age and the right profile to be a partner of Harry Maguire. Same age, but more experienced, has won the World Cup, the Champions League, and the La Liga. So, perfect profile player for Manchester United. But let's see if Manchester United is competent enough to sign that defender. And even Paul Torres as well. He's he fits that profile as well. He hasn't been as successful as a Varane, but he's a good second option to bring to Manchester United. So that's pretty much it regarding transfer news. Now, I'll just give you guys a little insight as to my opinions with all the players we've been linked with. Oh, I forgot to also mention that Kieran Trippier may not be a player that comes to United because Atletico Madrid is demanding too much money for the player. And of course, we have a budget. So it will totally go against what we are going to spend or what we have planned to spend. So we are seeking other options. So for me, I think the priority, as I said previously, that a centre back is needed, a central defensive midfielder is needed, and a right winger. I mean, we have Amad Diallo, who has a lot of potential, but I think slowly we should integrate him in the squad. So getting a Sancho is good, and it's good for him to learn from a Jane Sancho, or he can come off the bench for a Sancho, you know. So that's what I believe. So yes, I think we need three out and out players that will elevate the squad and instantly make us a title contenders. Now I told you guys my CDM options: Zakaria, Ndidi, and possibly Declan Rice. The most reasonable one I would get is a Zakaria, and don't forget that Brighton CDM. Don't remember his name right now, but he plays for Brighton. So we need to get either Zakaria or that Brighton guy, who they are very affordable and they can do the job. They can be tenacious and they are good passers of the ball, much better than McTominay and Fred, in my opinion. And getting a solid centre back, one that is more aggressive than a Victor Lindelof, one that possesses a lot of pace, which complements Maguire's slowness. And of course, a creative winger, a winger that his first instinct is to create chances. We have too much inverted wingers in our squad, so that is why I believe signing a Jadon Sancho is a good thing for Manchester United. So that is why I believe those are the three important signings that we need, and we need them now. We cannot be doing another 3-year wait process in order to catch up the Manchester Cities, the Liverpools, and now Chelsea. We cannot be continuously saying 3 years, 3 years this, 3 years that. We need to get these players right now. Look at how Manchester City did their rebuilding process. Yes, they did their rebuilding process over a period of time. But what they did, each season, they put a plan together and they said, these are the players that we need right now to be at this level. And they went and got all those players. Then the next season, they went again, retrospected, they evaluated the previous season and said, we need these players again. And they went and got those players. Manchester City, yes, they did a successful rebuilding process. And I'm not saying that Manchester United should just go bam and get every player. What they need to do is to adapt a similar model, a similar system. If we need 3 players to improve the squad to compete next season, go and get it. That's all I'm saying. And that's what Manchester City did. That's what Liverpool did. They said they needed 3 players to compete next year. They got them. It's not that we have 3 players. We need 3 players to compete next year. And we say, all right, we'll get one out of the 3 now. That is what Manchester United has been doing over the years. They need 3 players to be contenders. they got one player and say, okay, next year we'll get the next one, then next year we'll get the next one. No, we need to, at this moment in time, get those three marquee players who can instantly improve our starting 11. Marquee, we don't have a bad squad, or when you compare it to a lot of other teams, but we don't have enough players that can impact the game when you look at the other top four teams in the Premier League. So we need to sign three players to be instant contenders and to be where we want to be. Next year, we can get one and two players, just to complement what we have gotten in the previous year. So slowly, you will see that we will be where we need to be, but at a faster rate. So it's still a slow process, but it's still quicker than the model that currently happens at the club. So that's what we need to do. Get those three players, man. Don't hesitate. Be ruthless. That's another thing. Look at Chelsea, for example. They got several players last season in the summer transfer window. And what? Their manager wasn't competent enough. They got rid of him and they are now Champions League winners. Same goes for Liverpool. When Liverpool got Brendan Rodgers, they got rid of him. He wasn't doing a good job. Now he's doing tremendous at Leicester. They got a Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp won the Premier League, won the Champions League. Because those teams are ruthless in what they're doing and they are smart with how they do rebuilding and so forth. So this turned out to be transfer and more. I'm just giving you guys some insight as to what Manchester United needs to improve. They need three players. They are linked with, at the moment, I don't really see any linkage with any central defensive midfielders. There are just rumors out there that Manchester is interested in Declan Rice, when there's no concrete proof, there's no newspaper article, there's nothing there from a credible source that Manchester United is in for a central defensive midfielder. I won't be surprised if we continue with McTominay and Fred next season. But persons are saying that if we have a proper backline, probably McTominay and Fred will have the license to be more expressive. So let's see. But we are not linked with a CDM. We're only linked with a right winger, and of course various centre backs. We even heard the other day that Koulibaly was also available, but there's nothing circulating about Koulibaly being interested in coming to Manchester or Manchester being interested in getting a Koulibaly. So also to highlight, remember I said in the previous video that Diego Dallo is coming back from his loan from AC Milan, and that I said last video that it doesn't make sense to buy a Trippier if not much buyers, not much auctioners are there to get a Diego Dallo. I mean, probably someone will come last minute, but at this point in time, there's nobody there who really wants the player. And in my opinion, he has better attributes in certain aspects than Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Attacking wise, he's far superior to Wan-Bissaka. But there's none in the Premier League and none in the world, in my opinion, who can defend one-on-one like Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the wing-back position. So, what I'm basically saying, you can have those two right backs to, have that competition, let Dallo work on his defensive side by training with Bissaka, and let Bissaka improve his attacking side by working with Dallo, because Dallo can put a cross in the box and he's quick just the same as Bissaka, and he can defend but not as good as Bissaka. So I believe that should be the right back competition or the right back partnership at the club. So if you're not comfortable with playing a Diego Dallo that is only, you play him in a Carabao Cup first round, second round, third round. You get what I'm saying? If we're not playing the likes of a Chelsea or even, the Premier League proven teams. If you're playing a QPR or one of those teams, you can play a Dallo. Give those guys some minutes under the belt. So get them there. So if you need them in a more important match, they are still ready to go and still ready to fight. So yes. So just to summarize now, guys, before I close. So regarding Varane coming to United is not a surety. We don't know whether or not he'll be coming as yet, but as it stands, Manchester offered $12 million a year, which is 2 million superior to what Real Madrid was offering him. There's nothing yet regarding what PSG wants to give Varane. We just know that there's an interest in Varane by PSG. Jadon Sancho, personal deals, as I said, agreed. The only thing left is for United to just give Dortmund what they want to get the player. Now, talking about the CDMs, where we have been linked with several CDMs, but there's nothing concrete as yet as to what we're doing with our CDM position. Pogba has been offered £500,000 a week. So if he accepts that deal from Manchester United, he will become the highest paid Premier League player. So guys, that is it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in to our late night show. Now, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel, guys. Leave a comment down below. Tell me, does Pogba deserve that lumptious or that scrumptious fee, that money that Manchester United has offered him? Does he deserve it? Do you think that Sancho will come to United? Tell me why you think he will or why he won't. Do you think Manchester United will be competent? Well, we all know they are less competent than a lot of clubs, but do you think that Manchester United will get a Rafael Varane or even Pa Torres? Drop your comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think, guys. And like, share, and subscribe. Subscriptions are free, guys. You don't have to pay. For those who are wondering, and those who are watching and not subscribed, just subscribe, please. And thanks for watching again. This is my final closure, and we're out.